Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Brandon Armant. I'm here with Maliq Johnson.
That's good, y'all.
Look, we're playing a game of pool right now, but we're getting ready to do an interview and talk about his experience as a lead character in Netflix's Grand Army. Until then, I'm about to whip him in some pool.
You talking about he finna, man, all right, we'll see. Look, 13 side pockets. Man, come on, man. I do this. He talking about me.
Maliq Johnson. He has a name and has a face that is becoming well known in the entertainment industry, especially after starring in the Netflix original series Grand Army.
And that's exactly why I get more girls than you. Hey, yo, real quick. Let me borrow your trigonometry homework.
The young actor, only in his early 20s, has been featured in numerous motion pictures and he has a growing YouTube channel. So who exactly is this rising young star, who's quickly gaining traction as one of the future pros in the entertainment industry? What's his likes, dislikes, future projects, and how did he get to where he is today? It's time to find out. This is The Pros.
So Maliq, thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me, dog. It's a pleasure to be here for real.
Yeah, man. Listen, ever since I met you, I love your spirit and your personality. And that's what we hope that the people get to see today as they're looking at this interview, because we see your characters and we see you in these movies, but we don't always get to see the real Maliq Johnson.
Yes,
so for anybody who may not know, tell us, who is Maliq Johnson?
So off the bat, Maliq Johnson is a young man from Brooklyn, Bedford-Stuyvesant. I realized, like, kind of young, that I didn't really fit into a specified group, because I just wanted to do everything. Like, I was a dancer, I was an actor, I was an athlete, I was a model. And like at first it kind of like bothered me that I couldn't really fit into one group, but then it just kind of dawned on me. It's like, all right, well, maybe you're not supposed to. Like, maybe you're supposed to just touch every group, you know what I mean? And just continue to be yourself. I don't know, man. I like to have fun. I'm about positive. Everything got to be positive energy, positive vibes.
And that's true, man.
Yeah.
You know, just in following you, I see the positivity that you have in your life and the positive attitude that you have. And it comes across when we're not watching you on the big screen.
Yeah.
It comes across on our phone screens, the social media, and your YouTube channel and the things that you're doing. Now, you have so many talents, and you just talked about that. You're a model, you're an actor, you're a dancer. I saw a clip of you dancing when you were like 2 years old in the barbershop.
I came out dancing.
Came out the womb dancing,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
And you're an actor, so you got all of these talents. How do you choose one, or how do you take all those talents and you put them into one? How do you cap yourself? And I know you don't want to. How do you do that?
I mean, honestly, I guess like once you get to like a certain age, you just have to decide, okay, what am I gonna do with my life? You know, because it goes from like, all right, just having fun to like, I need to make a career out of something. And football kind of like died down as I got to high school, just because my high school didn't have a football team. Dancing, I still kind of did, but like not as much. And I just kind of like went with acting. It was like when I was on set, like in front of a camera, it didn't really matter like what else was going on around me. I just kind of like forgot about all of it, and everything just became so fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just was like, all right, I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah.
And I still like to do everything else like on the side for fun. Like it helps with like YouTube content that like I can do all that other stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, you just gotta like try to find one to focus on and make a career out of, and then everything else is just like fun and an accessory at that point.
Yeah, and I like the way you said it, accessory, or that do you want fries with that?
Right,
it's
exactly.
not the main entree, but it can help complement that. So you've chosen acting, at least at this stage of your career.
Yeah.
How did you get your start in acting?
I've been acting since I was like 3 or 4. Like, and I had the same manager that I have now. Shout out Terry. But the story that I was told is my pops, he took me to like this open house, essentially, where like a bunch of kids kind of come and take pictures, and some managers are there. They kind of like feel out your energy and like see what they could do with you as a kid. And my manager just told me that she loved me ever since she saw me. Like, I was well behaved, I had a bunch of energy and stuff, and I was smiling all the time. So she was like, from that point forward, it just was whatever she wanted to do.
Yeah. And so what was that like first of all, the same manager, You know, you're in your 20s now, your early 20s, the same manager from 3-4. That's like family now,
exactly,
I'm sure.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You know, what has it been like going through that? Have you seen growth? Have you seen progress in yourself over time as an actor?
Absolutely. Like at first, I wasn't even doing like film and movies and stuff at first. It started with like just commercials. And actually, even before that, it was like print work, which is like Children's Place, Macy's, Target. And it's like, all right, let's try commercials. I did my first Pediasure commercial. I was like 5 maybe. I was like, I don't see no peas. And then because I did that, I handled that so well, it just kind of like started to gradually graduate. Okay, well now let's try like some small films. Okay, let's try like some shows now and that kind of stuff. And she just kind of like started experimenting and like seeing how well I handled it kind of deal. And like over time, you start to learn how to be more professional in these settings. You start to adjust to how a commercial is shot and how a movie is shot and how shows are shot. And then you just start to learn all the nuances of the whole, what's the word I'm looking for, of the whole industry.
Yeah, and you know, it's I'm glad that you said that, because there are people who are watching and, you know, they're trying to figure out, okay, how did you get to Grand Army and how did you get to Netflix? But sometimes people don't want to take the time to go through the process of what it takes. They think that success happens overnight. Right.
Sure
we want those microwave blessings, right? But it's always better when it comes out of the oven.
Exactly.
Right. And sometimes we don't want to go through that oven. So I'm glad that you talked about the process, and you've been doing this for a while and you've been training. You didn't just end up on Grand Army. Go ahead.
I was about to say, the crazy part is, the high school I went to, I'll be honest, I didn't really like it like that when I first got there, because like I was an athlete. I wanted to play football. Like football was my jam. You couldn't, can't none of y'all hold me. All right, I'm just throw that out there. But when I got to high school and there wasn't no football team, it just was like, dang, like this is not where I want to be. But as I was there, they opened an ACT, which is like a program that goes to like a bunch of schools. Honestly, they went to like a bunch of high schools around that time, and my guy Caleb, he was in Grand Army with me actually as like Oddly's like they wanted I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it.
Have you ever seen it?
Yeah. But he was in there with me. And he came into my classroom and he was like, yo, we doing this open and act thing. It's mainly improv, you know what I mean? But some of the stuff that you do off improv, you write it down and then you actually end up like performing a scene. And he asked like for a volunteer in the classroom, and I'm looking around, ain't nobody getting up. I'm like, all right, man. I got up and I went to like improvise with him in front of the class, and I was like, I think there's something that I want to do. And then like through Open and Act actually, and another program outside of that, I got like a scholarship to go to Katie Capiello's acting class. And that's where like my acting just took a whole new turn for real.
Yeah.
So it's like if I never really went to that school, I would have never got that opportunity for real. And it's just crazy how that worked out, because I did not like the school at first.
That's so let's talk about Grand Army. I know a lot of people that's watching, they want to know, how did you get casted as a lead role in this Netflix original series?
Well, I still auditioned. It wasn't just like, yo, you want this here? Right. You know what I mean? Crazy part is I auditioned for Owen first, but
now Owen is the other character that's on side of you.
Yeah, my best friend.
Your best friend in the
show,
series. Okay.
Which is kind of funny. So I told you I went to Katie Capiello's acting class, and after a while, I think I went for like 3 years, and then after I had like, I guess essentially graduated, because she just started doing like young adult classes, but before that it wasn't enough of us to have that kind of class. She had gave me a call, and she was like, how would you like to audition for one of my shows? And I was like of course, like what do you mean? Like I love you, like let's do it. And I went in first and I auditioned for Owen, and it was like, okay, we like it. And then they had me do a chemistry read with somebody else and they were playing Jayson. And it was cool. Like he was a good actor, but it was like they was like, it's not quite. Then I came in and I read as Jayson. I ended up auditioning like 5 times, by the way. I came in and I auditioned as Jayson. And then I did another chemistry read where Jaden, who played Owen, we did a chemistry read together. And it was like, all right, we like that, but we need to find this nuance. So we got each other's numbers like that same day, and we just went home and like, it's hard to like become friends with somebody overnight, but we tried our best to like try to chop it up, try to get as cool as we could before that next audition. And then the next audition, we just went for it. We like hugging up on each other, we pushing on each other. Like it was just a beautiful thing to watch. I can't even lie.
But yeah, I mean that's hard work. You know,
Yeah,
y'all got
for sure.
together, y'all meshed, and made sure that y'all were able to do what you needed to do to get the role.
Yeah, for sure. Like the fact that she even asked me, you know what I mean, means that like she believed that I could do it. You know what I mean? And I was like, all right, well, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go 110% at it. And like you said, if it's meant to be, then it'll be. But we definitely did everything we could to make sure that we gave an authentic friendship. And like this is something that you could see, like because like the relationship is so important because you know how it ends. You know what I mean? That relationship has to be tight.
And y'all did a great job because, you know, if you haven't seen Grand Army, make sure you guys go and see it. Go, make sure you go watch it out. Check it out. Season 1 on Netflix. But watching you and that character, you can tell that you guys. It seemed as though you guys had a genuine friendship.
Yeah,
you forget that you're watching an actual movie or show.
And it's like we actually did end up forming like a real friendship. Like that's my guy now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just crazy how that works.
Yeah. So you auditioned for the part. What is it like? What was it like when you found out that you received the role, and how did that experience happen for you?
I ain't gonna lie. I cried. I ain't gonna lie. I cried. Okay. I was because like it was like one of those moments in my life where like I was still like trying to figure it out. It's like I wasn't sure if acting was for me because I wasn't really getting a lot of roles around that time. And like when she called me and she was like, yeah, like you gonna do it, like I want you to do it. I just like I was holding the phone. I just like I squatted down. I just started crying, man. I was excited. Yeah. Like Netflix, what? Yeah. We're going to Canada? What? Huh? All right. So, yeah. I was ready to go, man. I just was too excited for like words to really explain.
Yeah. So what? First of all, it's okay that you cry. It takes a real man to cry.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
Because you worked hard for it.
Yeah.
That was all the time that you had put in to get to that level, and you see the fruits of your labor have been paying off, and then this is just another opportunity for those fruits to just continue to show how they're blossoming. What in doing the movie or doing the show, what was your most memorable experience?
Honestly, I feel like the whole thing was like a memorable experience, like from start to finish, whether it was flying out to a whole nother country, you know what I mean, on like a work visa, like, yo, I'm like, what is this? They asking you questions at the border, like to make sure you there for a legit reason, like living on my own for the first time, like by myself, like nobody else, like by myself, like paying rent. It really like molded me into like a young man for real, like. And I was always kind of like mature for my age, people told me, but like that whole experience really like pushed me to like, all right, you got to get up in the morning. Ain't nobody here to wake you up to go to work. Like, and it's either you going to sink yourself or you going to swim while you out here. And it's like, you're going to be focused and you're going to have this lady who believed in you, you know what I mean? Continue to believe in you as you like work through this progress. It just was a lot, bro. I don't know. I can't really explain it. Yeah. It just was the whole thing. It was just fun.
Yeah.
Like I never frowned one time while I was out there. Like I can't really explain it.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
You know, I loved Grand Army and watching that season, and I was watching it. I would watch it with my wife. Yeah. And we would watch it, and you actually was my favorite character
I appreciate
on the show. And not I like you personally now. I didn't know you personally then. I loved the character and what was written with the character, and I remember telling my wife like, I like Jayson. That's my favorite character. I can relate to him, and so. You know, when I told her that I would be interviewing you, she was like, "What? He's your favorite character?" I was like, "Right, that's crazy."
That's fire.
But
fire.
With that being said, man, I was sad to see that Netflix decided not to continue Grand Army for season 2. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to why that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're looking for the speculation as to why, you can go and Google it and find it online.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons why some people say that it didn't happen is because the show was too real.
Yeah.
And it was real. Listen, I worked in the education system.
Yeah.
And worked with high school students. So I definitely know and understand what young people in high school today are going through. And I think Grand Army definitely depicted what they were going through. Everything from racism to dealing with sexuality to dealing with bullying and all of that stuff. They touched on all of that in season 1 and did a great job doing it. In fact, the first scene is so dramatic, and I don't want to spoil it, but when you see the first scene, you're like, I wouldn't, first of all, I don't know if I want to watch the first scene with my mama. right? But because that's what, you don't do that stuff around your mama and your parents when you're in high school.
Right, you don't even talk about it.
It's real. You don't even talk about it. And this series shows that, the real, but it didn't go on to season 2.
Yeah.
And some people say that it was too real. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I would 100% agree, like, because it's like it's taking all of these what society deems as like sensitive topics and it just like shoves it in your face, because it's like, this is real. Why are we ignoring it? You know what I mean? These are what kids are going through. Kids in high school are going through. Why are we acting like, oh, they're just acting out? You know what I mean? Like, it's not so black and white. You know what I mean? It's a lot of nuance. It's a lot of finding yourself. It's a lot of like trying to fit in. You know what I mean? And all of that doesn't look how society tries to make it look like. It looks all kind of different ways depending on who you are and where you come from. You know what I mean? And I just feel like a lot of people got offended by certain things, like, but I don't see why, because it's like, it's real life at the end of the day. If it wasn't real, nobody would have even thought about it really to like put it in the show. You know what I mean? It's not scientific fiction. This is realistic fiction. Like, it's not, I mean, stuff like this happens. So I just 100% agree.
And the reality is, we need more real shows like that. I mean, we're in a different day and age.
Man, we talk about this all the time, like me and my friends and stuff like that. Like the old shows that we used to watch, like Drake and Josh or like Ned's Declassified. I feel like those shows could not exist in this time, because like, when we was growing up, we seen that, we thought certain stuff was funny. Like, all right, this is how the world is. You know what I mean? It just was like, all right, it was relatable. Now everyone is, I feel, real sensitive. You know what I mean? And everybody's worried about how it's gonna make someone feel. And instead of just like trying to get to the root of the problem and working to fix it as a community. You know what I mean?
And that's often part of the problem in our community. We don't talk about issues. We don't talk about challenges and things that's going on, so we just hide it under the rug and try to pretend like it's not there. But you can never fix something unless you address it. And so I wish Grand Army had gotten another opportunity for season 2 and more seasons, so that we could continue to deal with those situations and those issues in a real way. And who knows? Maybe it still may come back for season 2. Now, listen, y'all are a little bit younger. Y'all are a little bit older now. So
I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to throw some extra makeup on.
Right.
We try to look at some pictures, match it up. I don't know, It could be done if somebody wants to do it.
It could be done.
It could
definitely can be done. But Grand Army wasn't the only movie that you have, or series that you have starred in. I mean, you starred in a bunch of other ones. What are some of the other
When They See Us, Skin, Little Boxes, and that's just like off the top of my. I was in another movie called Knucklehead when I was younger, and that's just off the top of my head. I wish I had like a list. To, like, really
that's cool. But, I mean, and again, we're in a different day and age. People can go Google it if they want to see, right?
For sure.
But out of the ones that you talked about, all of those shows that you starred in. They're culturally aware, if you will, right? They are all dealing with some real issues that people have to deal with, whether it be racism, Skins, the movie that you told me about, Skins, all of those. Has that been by choice? Did you choose those roles specifically for that reason?
I like this question because, like, since a young age, at first, I was kind of like down to almost do anything, but like once I turned around like 12, like 11, 12, 13, like somewhere in that middle school area, I was just kind of like, I want to do stuff like with substance that like people are gonna see and like see me and know like where I come from and be like, dang, I could do that too. Or like just something that's real enough for people to see it and then get a message from it, you know what I mean? I don't want to just do acting just cause, you know what I mean? Like obviously I want to do fun stuff too, like superhero stuff and like comedy stuff. Like I like the craft, so I don't mind doing that. But like the real stuff is like Grand Army, that's where people really connect with it, cause it's like, this is so real, you know what I mean? It's like you can't help but connect with it. And I guess unintentionally it was by design, because like I knew what I wanted to do essentially, but I didn't even realize that like I was doing it already, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to do stuff with substance, but I didn't realize that like my catalog already kind of shows that like this is the kind of stuff I like to get into.
Yeah. So that's what's up, man. So we're about to wrap up this interview pretty soon, but a few more questions for you before we do. Who is your inspiration? Who inspires you in life and in the industry?
Okay, so in the industry for sure, I would say like Denzel Washington and like Will Smith. Those
For some
like,
reason, I knew you were gonna say Denzel or Will.
It was some when I seen what I can't even remember what movie that was right now. I don't know why, but every time I seen Denzel and like Will Smith on the screen, I was always so captivated by what was going on. It didn't matter like what they were doing, because whether they were feeling happy, whether they were feeling sad, whether it was anger, anxiety, whatever it is they were feeling, I felt it in their eyes, you know what I mean? And like, that's not something that you can really teach, you know what I mean? That's like, that's natural. And like me watching them do that, it was like, wow, how can I tell a story and make it as believable as that? You know what I mean? Because they don't have to do too much with their body. They don't have to say no words. You know, acting is not just what comes out of your mouth. Yeah. It's like when you have to fully embody the emotion, this character, you know what I mean? Like the way he breathes, the way he walks, the way he talks, the way his mannerisms, you know what I mean? Like some characters might be sitting back like this. Other ones that's not so comfortable, they might, you know what I mean, sit more like this. And I studied that kind of stuff, like intentionally and unintentionally, because I was like, yo, why every time I see them on TV, I'm so like, you know what I mean? And it's obviously like other actors too, like Brad Pitt, he's cool, you know what I mean? But it's those two for sure.
Yeah.
As far as life goes, honestly, I think life is what inspires me. Like wanting to be better than my circumstances, wanting to be better than the environment I grew up in, you know what I mean? Not letting that be the end all be all, and realizing that I'm talented and I can be more than that. I don't have to be pigeonholed to one category, or I'm from Bed-Stuy, so I don't have the same opportunity as everybody else, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And that's what's going to continue to keep you going in life, knowing your past, knowing where you come from, but not letting that define who you are. And then continuing to study the greats. There's a reason why, you know, we're doing this interview and people who are watching, you said Denzel and Will Smith, and nobody's going to have to probably go and hardly Google who they are, because everybody knows Denzel Washington and Will Smith,
and that's
because they're the greats. But you know that, you realize that, and you studied them, and that's how you get better at anything that you do. You study the greats, and the people that you inspire to be like. And as you said, I mean, you know, acting is more than just, and I'm not an actor, but I study a little bit. I watch. I used to act when I was younger, but that's not the profession that I chose. But it is more than just speaking and talking. It's the body language. It's all of that. But that's how you get better when you realize that and study that.
Yeah, like I had like in Katie's class, I ain't gonna give out too much because y'all know how much you want to be saying, but like we had to do scenes where like no words. She's like, I don't even want you to speak. Like they would write like random words on a board and then like give you an emotion to feel or like something to express, and then like give the other person something to express. And it's like, all right, this is what you want, this is what you want. How do you both get that from each other without saying anything? You know what I mean? And like that just confirmed even more that acting is way more than just like what you say. You know what I mean? And it just helped me.
Can anybody become a good actor?
Absolutely.
So could you teach me how to act?
I feel like I could, but after a certain point, you have to use your own experiences and like your own lifestyle to develop the character that you have to be. Like when I'm on a screen and I have to like embody Jayson Jackson, and I have to be like, I don't want to give too much, but like, and I have to be like sad. I would use something from like my past experience that would make me sad, and then I would be feeling those emotions while in that scene. So it's like I'm experiencing kind of like real sadness in that moment, but it's for something totally different. But for the scene, it looked like I'm experiencing the sadness for whatever's happening right there.
Right.
So I feel like if you can connect your personal experiences and emotions to your characters, absolutely.
Yeah. So you're a good actor.
Thank you.
You play football, and you know I haven't seen you, but you say you're the best. You know, everybody says they're the best, but well, you know.
I would tell you, like, I could tell you basketball, I was only decent at it because I was just athletic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But football, though, I was giving the business out.
All right. We may see it one day. You might have to play a character playing football
that's what
one
I'm
day.
saying. And that's
know?
what I was about to say earlier. Like, me being able to do so many things only, like, drives my acting because, like, yeah, if you need a dancer, I could do that and I could act. You need an athlete, I could do that and I could act.
Yeah.
You need someone who could, like I guess be a street dude, like I could do that and I could act. You know what I mean? You want someone that could be smart and like in his books and stuff like that. I could do that and I could act.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So which one, if you had to choose just one, football, acting, dancing, modeling, by the way, you play saxophone in Grand Army. I play saxophone too.
Oh, that's tough. I gotta link up with you because I still got mine.
You still got yours?
Yeah, I still got mine.
I still got mine too.
I'm about to say they taught me how to play for real.
Yeah, I saw that they taught you how to play. So you know we might do a little special exclusive where we battle each other.
I gotta get. I've been a little out of practice. Hold on now.
That's all right. Look, I haven't played since high school, so you might have a better hand. But if you had to choose just one, which one would you choose?
That's tough, man. That's tough. I don't know. A piece of me want to say acting just because like that's where I'm at now. You know what I mean? And I can't really see my life being anything else at this point. But yeah, so I would probably just say acting. But playing an athlete, like being a professional football player, probably would have been it. Yeah, probably would have been it for sure.
And then my last question for you, man. You know, you got a lot. You've done a lot over time. What are you currently working on, or what projects do you have coming up?
Right now it's just like a lot of auditions. You know what I mean? Nothing that I'm like in the process of shooting yet. But I'm just, you know, I'm at home, I'm doing my auditions like when they come in, and I'm just hoping for the next opportunity, essentially. Yeah. But until then, I got my YouTube channel, you know that, you just mentioned it earlier, it's Maliq Johnson. And y'all could just tune in with me on there. And when something's coming up, I'll keep y'all informed. Y'all follow my life, you know what I mean, as much as y'all can through that and through my Instagram. Yeah, check out the YouTube channel. I check it out and have subscribed to it. I appreciate that, man. I mean, you know, you really get to know you through that channel. And, you know, while like you say, you've been auditioning and stuff like that, and I'm pretty sure you've been honing your skills and just making yourself better at what you do, because we can always get better no matter what it is that we do. And who knows, you know, we're going to speak it into the atmosphere. One of the next movies that you do will be with Denzel or Will, or maybe both Denzel and Will. That would go crazy. We're going to speak at the next movie starring Maliq Johnson, Denzel Washington, and Will Smith. Y'all stay tuned, and don't forget, y'all heard it here first. Right? Right. Appreciate it. Anything else you want to talk about that you want to add, man? Nothing, man. Just subscribe to the YouTube and just make sure y'all just attack every day with positivity, man. Don't let negative thoughts like distract you from whatever it is you want to do, because I'm human. I'm not saying that like I don't go through stuff. I'm not saying it like I'm perfect and I'm only 21, you know what I mean? But it's the mindset of like, all right, this is affecting me. Am I gonna let it hold me down, or am I gonna keep pushing because it's gonna bother you anyway, you know what I mean? So you might as well keep going. That's all I got. 21 years old, full of wisdom, and you got so much more to go, man. Thank you so much for taking time to talk with me. This has been a great interview, and I wish you all the success. You know, when you do that movie with Will and Denzel, don't forget,
that I help you speak that into the atmosphere.
For sure.
And, at least let me come to, one of the Oscar awards or something like that.
You
got me? All right.
Yeah, come on.
Appreciate
Say no
it.
more.
All right, man. Y'all, listen, we've been talking with Maliq Johnson. Make sure you guys check him out. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel, follow him on social media, and make sure that you check me out as well. Follow me on social media at Brandon Armant, and check out all the other content that we have on BAMM Network. Thank y'all. Talk to you later.
Appreciate it. Later, y'all.
This has been a BAMM Network production. For other BAMM Network shows, visit www.bammcommunications.com.